All right, everybody, this is a guided walkthrough for the Multicode Challenge from picoCTF, otherwise known as Cylab Academy. So the description on the challenge says, we intercepted a suspiciously encoded message, but it's clearly hiding a flag. No encryption, just multiple layers of obfuscation. Can you peel back the layers and reveal the truth? Download the message. So in this case, what we need to do is we need to download the message and we need to decrypt it or decode it to get the flag. We have a link over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy the link. So right click, copy link, then go over to our web shell. And in the web shell, we already have a multicode directory here that we created. So we're going to enter that directory. And we've got our message over here. So message.txt. So if you hadn't done this, what you want to do is you want to use the wget command. Wget space, right click, paste in the file address, and then this command is going to download the file. But we already have the file downloaded, so we're going to read the message.txt file. So cat message.txt, and what we see is a very long string. So if you're familiar with CTF challenges, you might be able to predict what kind of transformation this is, or sorry, what kind of encoded string this is. So we've got numbers and letters, uppercase and lowercase, some numbers, and an equal sign at the end. So let's talk about this. So in this challenge, we're asked to decode multiple layers of encoding to read the flag. So the first layer of encoding in this message is base 64 encoding. So base 64, this encoding system takes data and encodes it into a text string with uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers and a couple of special characters, the plus symbol and the slash symbol. So we can use the Linux base 64 command to decode the string. So we've got the string over here. So if we read the message, we see this. But what we want to do in this case is we want to pipe this into our next command. So command piping is basically passing the output of one command into the input of another. So we cat message.txt, then we use the pipe. So the pipe character on American keyboards is the shifted version of the backslash. Then you type in base 64 -d for decode. That's going to decode the base 64 string. And what we see next is this, a bunch of numbers. And if you see a bunch of numbers that you think might be some sort of special code, I think the most important thing about these numbers is that we see some letters here as well. So we see the letter F, and if we see numbers and letters that are very limited in their scope, the letters will never go beyond the letter F, for example. This could be an example of hexadecimal numbers. So what are hexadecimal numbers? So the next step is hexadecimal ASCII encoding. So the resulting output is a string of numbers and letters, which appears to be hexadecimal digits. This points to hexadecimal ASCII encoding. So what we can do is we can try to decode this. ASCII encoding is an encoding system where strings of numbers are converted into ASCII characters and vice versa. So if we were to echo out ABC and then use a program to encode this into hexadecimal characters, then we would get the numbers 41, 42, and 43. So these are not decimal numbers, these are hexadecimal numbers because we're using the XXD program to get the hexadecimal output. XXD is the program that we're going to be using to decode this. So XXD is a pretty common Linux command. If we run XXD-P, it's going to reverse. Oh, no. If we run xxd-p-r, it'll reverse from hexadecimal characters, and it's going to result in printable ASCII characters. So we'll go back to our web shell, and we're going to run the same command we ran before, but we're also going to pipe it out into another command, xxd-r-p. So we're going to reverse the hexadecimal encoding, and we're going to print it out as we're going to print it as a single string. So in this case, this is the result over here. So this is even more encryption that we need to do here. Specifically, we need to get rid of, well, we need to address these characters right here. What are these characters? Let's talk about this. Okay, using Linux, we can convert hexadecimal characters to ASCII and vice versa with the XXD program, which we just did. And the next step we need to do is we need to do URL encoding. So now the output string looks like it's been ROT13 encrypted, but there's also some URL encoded characters in the string. So we see %7b and we see %7d. So what are these characters? So URL encoding is applied, this is an encoding method that is applied to web addresses and transforms characters that are usually not allowed in URLs. So a lot of special characters like the $, the brackets, single quotes, etc., spaces. It's going to convert those into a % symbol followed by 2 hexadecimal digits. So % something something. For example, %20. So the 2 hexadecimal digits used with the % sign in URL encoding map directly to the hexadecimal digits for ASCII encoding. So in this case, ASCII encoding hex 41, URL encoding %41, this is associated with the capital A character, or hexadecimal hex 20 or %20, this is associated with the space character. Okay, on Linux, we can use the Python command to URL decode special characters back into their original forms. So using Python is the simplest way we can do this if we want to use the command line. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we'll go back to the web shell. We'll run the same command that we ran before. We're going to pipe it into this Python command. And before we run the Python command, let's just talk about what the Python command is doing. Okay, so the Python command is this. Okay, so this is the Python command. So we run Python command import sys and urllib.parse. So these are two modules we need to use to run the command. And we're going to print out urllib.parse unquote system standard in read strip. So what this is going to do is it's going to convert any URL encoded characters back into their original forms. Okay, so we're going to go back to the command that we did before. We're going to paste in this Python command and then run it again. So that transforms the URL encoded characters, the %7b and the %7d, back into these characters, left curly bracket and right curly bracket. Okay, so the next thing we need to understand is that the resulting output looks like a CTF flag that has been encrypted with a substitution cipher. How do we know that? We know that from the format. So if we take a look at the format of this string over here, so there's this and then some curly brackets and then some stuff in the middle. So if you know your picoCTF flags, the picoCTF flags picoCTF flag format. It usually looks like picoCTF, and then between some curly brackets, some stuff here. So it looks something like this. So this kind of pattern looks very similar to this. Okay, all picoCTF flags start with picoCTF, followed by some contents between a pair of curly braces, which is very similar to what we see over here. So the most common substitution cipher used in cybersecurity challenges is ROT13, the simplest application of the Caesar cipher. So in ROT13, if you've got a capital letter A, you turn it into a capital letter N, and if you've got a capital letter N, you turn it into a capital letter A, and you apply this transformation to everything in the string. So in ROT13 encryption, each letter of the ciphertext or the secret message is rotated by 13 positions in the alphabet to form the plain text, which is the original message. For example, the letters ABC would become the letters NOP and vice versa. So in Linux, we can use the tr command to apply the ROT13 encryption and decryption operation and get the fully decoded flag. So the tr command can be used to transform one set of characters into another set of characters. So let's go ahead and do that. Go back to our web shell. We're going to give the same command we did previously, hit up to run the previous command, pipe it into the tr command over here. So tr, capital letters A to Z, and lowercase letters A to Z into capital letters N to Z, and then A to M, and then lowercase letters N to Z, and then A to M. When we run this command, we finally get our unencoded flag. So picoCTF nested encoding, we can copy this flag, we can go back to the original challenge, and we can scroll down to the bottom and paste it into the flag submission field here. Click on submit flag, and then you're finished. Where'd that thing go? Okay. All right, everybody, that was a guided walkthrough for the Multicode challenge from picoCTF, otherwise known as Cylab Academy. If you enjoyed this guided walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on the video and leave a comment underneath the video. But until next time, HackerFrogs out.
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button, and if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.